Emergency room visits are on the rise by nearly 220% in recent years. These visits have been linked to the active ingredient known as Zolpidem, which can be found in many common sleep aids like Ambien. Over 6,000 visits to the ER were reported in 2005 alone due to sleeping medications. However, in more recent years, this has spiked to close to 19,500 visits. This is a staggering increase in a short amount of time, and many of these patients that were admitted were over the age of 45. Short-term sleep aids can be of significant benefit to individuals, but it's strongly cautioned that they're taken as directed and monitored frequently. While the reason for the ER visits might not be fully linked to the Zolpidem, the increase in the visits is staggering. Nearly 4.9 million visits were reported over the past several years, so it's highly recommended that you take the medication with caution and only if recommended by a doctor. Zolpidem was approved by the FDA to treat individuals who have short-term insomnia. However, after just a short period of time on the market, the FDA started to see more and more reports of adverse reactions. If you drive or do activities that require alertness the morning after taking the medication, you should be cautioned. There's also extended release forms of the pill, and these can be more concerning to the individuals who take it the night before bed. Women seem to be more susceptible to the effects of these medications, as their bodies rid the ingredients at a slower rate than men. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA, plays a significant role in how the body reacts to and manages stress and anxiety-related issues. These two issues, unfortunately, are the two culprits that cause the sleeping problems, and why so many medical practitioners prescribe the sleeping pills to their patients. When you're under stress, your adrenal glands produce cortisol in an effort to keep you on your toes. This cortisol, together with the other hormones like adrenaline, puts your body into a fight or flight mode so that you're prepared to deal with any situation. In turn, this affects the brain's melatonin production. Melatonin is the sleep hormone, and less melatonin equates to less sleep. If stress persists, your body needs to adjust to a heightened and prolonged cortisol output, and certain symptoms start emerging, of which insomnia is one. The result, you're most probably prescribed a common sleeping aid. The problem, though, with these sleeping aids is although they tend to dampen down the cortisol output, they usually have a particular set of side effects of their own. Some of these common side effects are bowel movement problems, constipation and diarrhea, constantly feeling tired or weak, headaches, brain fog, difficulty with balance, appetite changes, uncontrollable shaking, waking up with a hangover and hallucinations. But there's even more. The continuous use of the common sleep aids disrupts your sleeping cycle. Because the sleep aids don't address the direct cause of the problem, they only dampen down the body's natural reaction to the stress. The body then strives to produce even more of the necessary hormones that it needs. Eventually, your endocrine system is compromised, i.e. the HPA axis and the accompanying adrenal glands, pituitary gland, pineal gland and hormones. The end result of the consistent use of sleeping aids is thus a higher production of cortisol or stress hormone, a disrupted sleep pattern, and eventually adrenal fatigue. More often than not, stronger sleep aids are then prescribed, and the domino effect comes into play. Manufacturers are now recommending that women take half the dose, typically that's prescribed for men. 68% of all reported ER cases are women. However, men are also affected, and the FDA has recommended that their dose should also be lowered. Negative reactions can be drowsiness during the daytime, dizziness and hallucinations, as well as sleepwalking and adverse reactions while driving. If you plan to take any medication containing Zolpidem, or Ambien as it's known, it's recommended you consult a doctor and monitor your usage often. The first point of order is to identify the cause of the problem. So this means finding the reason that your body's neuroendometabolic stress response has kicked in the way that it has. Once the problem is identified, you then need to do something about the stress to make sure it's removed and the HPA axis's normal functionality can ensue, thereby normalizing your hormone production. Additionally, the adrenal glands that are in a state of fatigue need to recuperate, so this includes adequate sleep. In fact, most sufferers of advanced adrenal fatigue commonly complain of an inability to fall asleep, as well as frequently awakening during the night. Without a good night's sleep, the body's energy output during the day falls, and this results in a vicious cycle of a loss of energy. One of the leading reasons for insomnia is depression. The chemical hyperforin, found in the St. John's wort, can help with mood swings and alleviate depression and improve your sleep. A combination of bergamot oil, frankincense, lavender oil and mandarin can be wonderful sleep-inducing blends used for aromatherapy. Research indicates that calcium helps in the creation of melatonin, which is the body's natural sleeping aid. However, plant-based natural calcium would be the best source. Magnesium calms the brain and it induces a higher rate of relaxation. It's an important component for the optimal adrenal function and it can help to improve your sleep. Tryptophan is an amino acid and it puts you into a relaxed state. It's very similar to melatonin and serotonin. It can be found in foods such as turkey and in carbohydrates such as quinoa, brown rice and corn. Bear in mind, not all sleep aids are for everyone. Those with advanced adrenal fatigue can develop a paradoxical reaction and can actually get worse with certain sleep aids, so some trial and error is often necessary to find the best supplements for you. To learn more, check out my videos on melatonin and on herbs for sleeping. To learn about herbs, supplements and natural treatments, or to book a consultation, check out my website.